the unexpected accusation. It was a routine evening broadcast on Pakistani national television. Viewers tuned in, expecting the usual political discourse and nightly news, but what unfolded was anything but ordinary. A senior Pakistani official, with a stern expression and unwavering tone, addressed the nation. He didn't point fingers at the usual suspects. Instead, he turned the spotlight westward, directly accusing the United States of meddling in Pakistan's internal affairs. The claim was bold. The US was allegedly orchestrating events to destabilize Pakistan's sovereignty. The studio fell silent. Anchors exchanged uneasy glances, and viewers at home were left in disbelief. Accusations against India were common, but targeting America on live TV, this was unprecedented. The official elaborated, suggesting that recent unrest and economic challenges were not mere coincidences, but the result of calculated interference. He cited instances of sudden policy shifts, unexplained financial anomalies, and intelligence reports hinting at foreign involvement. Social media platforms erupted. Hashtags like Nurse Pakistan Blames USA and Sovereignty Under Threat began trending. Memes, debates, and conspiracy theories flooded timelines. While some citizens rallied behind the government's claims, others demanded concrete evidence. Internationally, the response was swift. US officials dismissed the allegations as baseless, emphasizing their commitment to Pakistan's stability and prosperity. They highlighted ongoing collaborations in health, education, and counterterrorism as proof of their positive engagement. India, observing from the sidelines, saw an opportunity. Indian media outlets questioned the credibility of Pakistan's claims, suggesting that the government was diverting attention from its internal failures. Analysts debated whether this was a strategic move to shift blame or a genuine concern over foreign interference. As the dust began to settle, one thing was clear. The geopolitical landscape in South Asia had taken a dramatic turn, and the world was watching closely. The interview took place during a primetime debate on a leading international channel, where the Pakistani spokesperson shocked the panel by directly pointing fingers at the United States. He stated, and I quote, "Our situation would not be this fragile if global powers had played fair." The anchor paused. The panel froze. It was as if someone had just lit a political firecracker on live TV. Within minutes, Pakistani social media was in a frenzy. Hashtags like "I Blame America" and "Truth on TV" started trending. But here's where it gets interesting. America, usually cautious in responding to these kinds of remarks, didn't stay silent this time. A US State Department official responded anonymously to Reuters, calling the claims baseless, irresponsible, and dangerous. According to insiders, the White House had been caught off guard and was scrambling to issue a formal statement. Now, while the US was trying to calm things down diplomatically, India saw this as an opportunity. Indian news outlets picked up the footage instantly. In primetime debates, anchors played and replayed the clip, analyzing every word. Prominent Indian diplomats stated, "If Pakistan believes the US is to blame, maybe it's time the world stops funding their defense." Even Indian netizens chimed in. Comments like "Pakistan always needs a villain" and "caught red-handed and blaming others again" flooded social platforms. This isn't just a blame game anymore, it's turning into a strategic media war, with each country trying to shape the narrative to their advantage. And we haven't even reached the reaction from India's foreign ministry yet. The fallout and India's strategic response. In the days following Khawaja Asif's televised accusations, the geopolitical landscape in South Asia grew increasingly tense. International media outlets dissected his statements, with analysts debating the implications of a senior Pakistani official publicly blaming the United States for regional instability. India, seizing the moment, launched a diplomatic offensive. The Ministry of External Affairs issued a statement condemning Pakistan's irresponsible rhetoric and reaffirmed its commitment to combating terrorism. Indian diplomats engaged with counterparts in Washington, London, and other key capitals, highlighting Pakistan's alleged support for militant groups and urging the international community to hold Islamabad accountable. Meanwhile, Indian media outlets amplified the narrative, showcasing Pakistan's statements as evidence of its duplicity. Primetime debates featured experts discussing Pakistan's internal turmoil, economic challenges, and its reliance on externalizing blame to unify domestic audiences. On social media, hashtags like Pakistan Blames USA and deflecting again trended, with Indian netizens mocking the Pakistani leadership's statements. Memes and satirical posts highlighted the perceived absurdity of blaming external actors for internal failures. Amidst this backdrop, the United States maintained a measured stance. While dismissing the allegations, officials reiterated the importance of regional stability and encouraged dialogue between India and Pakistan. Behind the scenes, however, diplomatic cables revealed concerns about Pakistan's trajectory and the potential for further escalation. As the situation evolved, it became evident that Khawaja Asif's statements had not only strained Pakistan's relations with the US, but also provided India with a strategic advantage in the court of global opinion. As this diplomatic storm brews, the world watches closely. Pakistan's bold accusation against the US has opened a new chapter in South Asian geopolitics, one filled with uncertainty, media frenzy, and strategic maneuvering. Whether this claim is an act of desperation or a well thought out foreign policy shift remains to be seen. Meanwhile, countries like China and Russia are quietly observing. China, Pakistan's close ally, has not commented directly, but state run Chinese outlets have subtly supported Islamabad's concerns. Russia, navigating its own tensions with the West, might find Pakistan's claims useful in reinforcing a global narrative of American interference. All of this signals a potential reshuffling of alliances and tensions. For India, this development is both a warning and an opportunity. A destabilized Pakistan and strained US Pakistan ties could work in India's favor diplomatically. However, increased regional instability could spill over into border skirmishes or terror threats, so India is treading cautiously. In the end, this incident is more than a news flash. It's a glimpse into the fragile balance of power in South Asia. A single live TV moment has triggered a ripple effect, dragging three major global players into a web of accusations, strategy, and narrative battles. The coming weeks will reveal whether this controversy fades as just another headline or becomes the spark that reshapes regional dynamics for years to come.